Hey, what is up, YouTube? So I promised a video, I think day before yesterday, and I hadn't been on my YouTube channel for a while. So the video that I promised was a Bigfoot encounter, my Bigfoot encounter, my wife and I's our encounter. But I wasn't able to. I've been trying to get over a cold, and I haven't felt good at all. So today I feel a little bit better, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys my encounter. So first of all, I'd like to start off by saying I know a lot of people don't believe in Bigfoot. They don't believe he exists. You know, Sasquatch, whatever, man. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't believe he exists. And, you know, to me, that just shows how simple-minded people are. Because they're not able to open their mind to, you know, a broader spect other than what they can see, feel, or touch. You know what I mean? So if it's not something that's tangible right in front of them, and you know, or they can look it up in a book or whatever, or some guy in Harvard didn't say it was so, they're not going to believe it. You know, they'll believe the world's round before they believe there's a God. And who's ever, you know, mapped the circumference of the world? You know what I mean? So I'm not even going to get off on that on the flat Earth theory. So you know, we'll do that another day. So today is my Bigfoot encounter. You know, I keep calling it my encounter, but it's my wife and I's encounter. It would be cool if she would sit down and do the video with me, but I don't think she's really into that. So I'll just, you know, I'll do it for her, you know, and then maybe later on I'll get her to do her side. You know what I mean? So anyway, first of all, you know, the reason why I keep looking off is because my dog, he's running around here and doesn't have he doesn't have a leash on, so he's just kind of roaming free. But I do have this device right here that lets me call him back when I need to. So it's not something that I don't shock him with or nothing like that. I just kind of page him. It's like a pager or whatever. You know what I mean? It can shock him, but I don't use that part because I don't believe in that. You know, if you don't do it to yourself, don't do it to your animals. So anyway, so my encounter happened the year before last. So this is 2019, fixing to be 2020. So my encounter happened in 2017. At the time, I was living in Utah, here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and my father, James Hoskins, which he lives in South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina. He, you know, me and him never really had the best of relationship growing up. You know, so I never really got to know my dad. So anyway, any opportunity that I got to go and be around him, I thought was a really good thing. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to build a relationship with him. So I took full advantage of any time he called, and you know, so we're in here. We're doing good down here out here in Utah, and my dad calls and he's like, "Look, hey, you know, I got your number from your mom, and I'd like for you and your wife to come out here and stay with me for a while." And you know, kind of blowed my top, but he was like, you know, "Hey, look, I've been sick the last couple of days." He said, "I've had a stroke," and or he said he thinks he had a stroke. So, but anyway, so you know, at the time I'm going to church, I still believe in God, you know, all the way, man. Yahweh. So you know. Anyway, so yeah, so I told my wife, I was like, "Look, honey, you know, my dad's sick, and I'd really like, you know, to go and visit with him before something ever happens to him. You know, I'd hate to say, you know, hey, I can't come, and then a week later he dies or something like that. So at least I would be keeping up my end of the deal as far as the father and son relationship goes." So anyway, so my wife and I, we take off. We hop a Greyhound, and we go all the way to Anderson, South Carolina. And my father comes and picks us up at the Greyhound station. Over here, boy. And we hug, and and everything's good, and just everything. It was perfect. You know what I mean? A perfect relationship between a father and son, especially one as rocky as ours. So we get to the house, and he's like, "Hey, look, you guys fix up this spare bedroom. This will be your all's room, and until we can get this place fixed up that I have down the road for you guys. I have a little piece of property down the road that it's a 1 acre piece of property. It's got a double wide setting on." He said, "I'm actually working on putting it together right now." He said, "You all could move into it, and I've got a truck. I'll let you all use the truck to ride around in, whatever." So I'm thinking, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's awesome. You know what I mean? Wait a minute, I messed up. Sorry, we didn't take a Greyhound. We did not take a Greyhound. We took our minivan. We took a black minivan, Toyota Sienna minivan. That's how that Toyota minivan came into play. Sorry about that. So, don't judge me on that. Like, I got a mind like a fart, So anyway, so we drive to Anderson, South Carolina, and we meet him at the Greyhound station. That's what it was. We met him at the Greyhound station, and then we followed him on to his house. Right. So he puts us up in a room, and I'm going to give you a little River! About the paging, boy. Paging Dr. Butts. Get over here. So anyway, where was that? Oh yeah, so he puts us up in this room, and it's just everything seems good. But the backstory on my father is he didn't tell me that, until we get this trailer or double wide up and running, that we're going to have to live with him, and he doesn't have electricity except for what he gets from a generator. So throughout the day, he has his bedroom in the back of the little single 14x70 trailer that he lives in, and then he keeps an air conditioner going throughout the day in his room and he runs that thing 24/7, 7 days a week, and the rest of the trailer is just ungodly hot. If you want to figure out the temperature in Anderson, South Carolina on a usual summer day, look it up. It can get hot. So anyway, so my wife and I are just like, look, we'll make the best of it. We'll do what we can do, and this is not a permanent thing. This is just a temporary thing until we get our double wide fixed up. So the whole time my wife is just like, I don't like this. I don't want to be here, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I don't think he's going to do what he says he's going to do. How he's been in the past, so on and so on. So I'm steadily trying to convince her that he's changed and that he's a different person now. So time goes by, and we've been there for probably a month and a half. And by this time, we have literally lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds apiece from the sweat. Like, if you've never stayed in a trailer, a single wide trailer, in the summer with no air conditioner, then you can't even understand. We literally had to go to Walmart and buy one of the best fans they had and put it in front of our bed, and we had to lay in front of that fan all the time. If we moved out in front of that fan, it was just unbelievable. You couldn't even breathe. Like, the heat in your lungs, it just was murder. Also, he had chickens that would run in and out of the house because one of his hens had laid their eggs inside of his closet, and he just let that hen run in and out when she wanted to through the bathroom window. So it's been long enough for those eggs that she just had laid them when we got there, right before we got there. And when this Sasquatch incident took place, those eggs had already hatched. Like, little chicklets was running around in the house. You know what I mean? Like, they would come to the door and chirp and stuff like that, and then I'd have to go out and be like, get down there to your mom. So anyway, so my wife and I was like, look, why don't we go do something? You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm my wife is ready to pull her hair out because, we're living in squandering in this heat. And it's like, you take a shower 5 times a day and you just can't keep the sweat off of you. So, and that's hard for a woman, you know what I mean? Like, that's just really hard for a woman. Especially my wife, she loves to be clean. And she likes to, keep herself looking good. So, which woman don't, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I'm like, look, why don't we just look? I'm gonna go to work with my dad, and I'm gonna make a little bit of money, and then we'll go out tonight at the movies. We'll go to a theater. Now, so that night, or that day, the next day, I went out and I worked with my dad. And when I say I worked, it was, I was lucky to catch him before he left for work every morning. Like, I would get up at 4:30 in the morning and try and literally wait in the kitchen for him to come out of the bedroom so I could be like, hey, can I go to work with you today and make some money? And this was supposed to be an arrangement that we already had together, for me to be able to go to work with him, make some money, and that was what I was going to buy the materials with to fix the trailer, or the double wide. So none of this happens. Like, he's sneaking out on me, leaving me at the trailer all day, and it's like, dude, we're just literally being held captive here. This is not working. And so, anyway, so I catch him. I'm like, look, I need to go to work with you. My wife needs some women's stuff, and I need some things, and we just we need to go. I need some work. You know what I mean? So he's like, cool, come on, get in. So me and him jump in his truck. We go to work, and we do a tree job right down the street from the trailer or the double wide that we're fixing to fix up. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing this thing, and I've got my heart set on it. I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this is something that's really going to happen. I just got to hang in here with him. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just that he's, he's got other things on his plate, and he can't mess with the double wide right now. I'm doing anything and everything I can to not judge my dad on what I've seen so far. You know what I mean? Like, he's already made some dick moves, and it's like, I don't want, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Because I really don't know him that well. River! Okay, good boy, good boy, good boy. So, anyway, I'm already at 12 minutes. So, anyway, we go to work. He pays me. I get off. Me and Mandy go out, and we went and got us a bite to eat at Chick-fil-A. And we watched a movie. I can't tell you the name of the movie. I don't remember for the life of me what the name of that movie was. So, I mean, like, we just had a good time. We had a really good time. It was something that we really needed. You know what I mean? It was something that we had. It had been stressful, so it was something. It was a good break from reality. You know what I mean? To be able to ride around and just forget all the problems back at the trailer. So we decide, hey, it's late enough. We don't want to be out too late because my father, he does not like me to come in late. You know what I mean? He doesn't want us to disturb the neighbors. He doesn't want me to rouse the chickens that's in the yard that's on the roost. There's just a lot of things he doesn't do like normal people would do. You know what I mean? Certain things bother him. That's why he's not a people person. So I'm going to give you the layout of my dad's property. So envision this. So my dad lives on a back road with tree coverage on both sides. And when you drive down this road, there's a little gravel lane that cuts off. And if you didn't see the mailbox, you wouldn't even know that driveway was even there because it's between the trees. So you cut down into this gravel road, and this gravel road runs probably 500 yards. Maybe a little less. Maybe 100. I'm going to say 150 to 200 yards. And at that end of that gravel road is a little dirt, like a red dirt road. And then that red dirt road runs on up to my father's property. And once you get back to where, you're starting to see my dad's trailer, the foliage just starts getting overgrown. It's to the point to where, like, when you look it up on Google Maps, you can't even see the road really. You can see it a little bit in the fall, but in the summertime it's just too green. You can't see it. So That's the setup. And once you pull up to the driveway, my father's trailer is sitting long legs like this. You know, like this is us, and then the trailer is sitting right here. You know what I mean? So we pull up to the trailer, and I cut the headlights. I cut the headlights out at the end of the at the beginning of the driveway, so I didn't disturb. You know what I mean? Pulling in. So we sat out in the van with our windows down, and my wife's window was up. My window was down. It was only sticking up probably that far at the most. So get over here, boy. River. So we pull into the driveway, shut the headlights out, and we coast up into the driveway, and my wife and I are smoking a cigarette because my father does not allow us to smoke in his house, period. He doesn't even want to find a cigarette butt on his property. So, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be the last thing I'd want my dad to be doing, is walking through his yard and be like, here's a Marlboro Red. Who's this belong to? You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I don't want no confrontation. So, like, we're on our P's and Q's. So we're sitting there smoking, and we're listening to a song by Pink Floyd. And all of a sudden, I look over at my wife, and we're just talking about the random stuff, the movie, whatever. And I see this figure run that's in this little patch of woods by my father's property. And it runs past the trailer and down the side of the van. And it's probably, you know, it's probably 60, 70 feet from the van in the woods. And the reason why I can see this is because the patch of woods that it's in is the patch of woods that separates my father's property from his neighbor's. And his neighbor has one of those big long street lights, and it's shining through the woods. So anything that's in those woods you can see because it sticks out, you know what I mean? So I see this thing run by, and I'm like, what the hell? You know, like, honey, there's a crackhead running around in the woods right now, and you know what I mean? Like, he's running around on Dad's property, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna shoot him. So, and meth is a really bad drug there. So, Mandy was like, you know, you're messing with me. I was like, no, honey, I swear there's somebody that ran by there. So I'm in the process of explaining to her what I'm seeing. And then on my side of the RV, on my side of the van, I hear a bunch of, like, branches breaking. And as soon as I start to catch, you know, to be like, what is that? I hear this thing let out a whoop. And it goes, whoop, real loud like that. I don't want people to look at me. But anyway, so it lets out this really loud whoop. And it was so loud that it had rattled the van. And, like, I could feel it in my chest. It was instant, man. So the next thing that I noticed was a bad smell. Like, it smelled like somebody that hadn't taken a shower ever. It smelled like old rotten punky wood, and like a almost kind of like a maggot smell, like a mag. I mean, if you've ever smelt maggots on a carcass, that's the way it smelled. River. Okay, good boy. He's such a good dog. So anyway, so I smell this, and I mean, like, I'm not thinking Bigfoot. At first, I'm thinking like some big fucking bird or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only noise I'd heard was that whoop. So, as soon as it lets out that whoop, then I hear it go, ooh, like that. And it's the ooh, that sound was so deep that it was, again, vibrating my chest. In the RV, and like the plastics on the RV, you could hear them was like, zzz, you know what I mean? Like, that's how loud it was. So I know I got my window down, and I am so friggin' panicked because I've got my hands on the steering wheel like this, and I'm like, you know, by this time I look over, my wife, she's in the floorboard of the RV, or in the van. Sorry, I keep calling it RV. So she's in the floorboard, and I'm sitting here because I can't move because I've got my seatbelt on. And I'm thinking, any minute now, whatever the fuck this is fixing to jerk me out of this RV. Or out of this car, forgive me, van. So, I am fucking panicking, man. So then, I'm like, honey, listen. I'm gonna light the brake lights up, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm gonna find out where this fucker's at, and as soon as I do, you jump out of your side and run to the house and get Dad. I didn't even think about the horn. Okay? Didn't even think about the fucking horn. So, when we pulled up, I'd heard my dad's air conditioner going. And I'm thinking, there's no fucking way he's hearing this over top that air conditioner. Because it's like right here by his head. So, when I'm explaining this to her, all of a sudden, the whole van just starts rocking. I mean, like rocking to the point to where Mandy's getting thrown up against the door, up against the side of the freaking radio. And, like, I'm on the steering wheel. I've done grabbed the steering wheel like this, and I'm holding on. And then all of a sudden, I hear, get out of here! Bow! Bow! And I'm like, what the hell? Well, at this time, I done hit the brake pedal to light this thing up. And when I did that, I looked back and I could see this thing right. River! Over here now! Did I mention he's a good dog? So anyway, I lit this thing up, man, and this thing, I could see its whole side, its whole body. It was solid, like a brownish reddish color. The hair was real long and shaggy. You know what I mean? Like it was like it kind of looked like a border collie, but not as long. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like it was like that long. You know, like it looked about like that long. So anyway, I seen its junk, everything. So when I hear get out of here, pow, 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 this thing backs up away from the RV. It takes 1 or 2 steps to the back of the RV, and then leaps across the back of the RV. So, you know, at this time, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if this thing was going to go around to my wife's side or what. You know what I mean? I just knew that once Dad had shot that gun off, this thing wasn't having it. He was like, I'm out of here. So, my wife is steadily crying. She's crying her fucking eyes out, man. And she's like, is it gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? I'm like, yeah, babe, it's gone, man. I think it's gone. And I'm like, Dad, we're in the van. Help. And he's like, come on, get out of the car, get in here. So me and Mandy jump out on my side, and me and her run in the house. Now, this is where you think the story might end, but it don't. This is only the beginning. So grab you something to drink real quick, get you a cigarette, whatever. I'm going to wait a couple seconds, and then I'm going to finish the story. Alright. See, you've got your stuff. Now I can finish. So anyway, we go into the house, and my dad is like going back to his bedroom in his underwear with a shotgun, carrying a shotgun. And it was like a mundane like type thing to him. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he was like white. I mean, you're like, Mom, did you just see what I just seen? You know what I mean? I know you just seen what I just seen. You know what I mean? So, because I had him lit up with the brake lights. You know what I mean? Like, he had to see him. Plus, I had the friggin', not the headlights, but the little parking lights on. You know what I mean? So, I'm like, what the hell was that? And he's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, man. I was like, was that a joke? Was y'all messing with us? And he was like, no. He's like, I've never seen nothing like that before in my life. He's like, I've lived here 50 years or 51 years or something like that. He's like, and I've never seen nothing like that. And I'm like, well, we thought it was a crackhead that was messing around. We just, you know, that's what we thought, you know. Thought he just got high and was geeking out in the woods. So, my dad's in his underwear. And he's like, listen, go in there and lay down. You know, lock all the windows and lock all the doors. Go in there and lay down. And he's like, you know, wait till in the morning. So he's like, I'm going here and laying back down. So I'm like, man, I'm not going in there and laying down after this thing just, was outside. And he's like, he's like, Mandy, it's okay. You know what I mean? He ain't going to get in this house, blah, 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 blah. He called it it. He didn't say he. He said it. It can't get in this house. River, over here. So I'm steadily telling my wife, you know what I mean? Hey, it's okay, baby. It's okay. He's gone. He's gone. And I'm scared too. I'm not going to lie. I was scared too. You know what I mean? Like, I was just trying to be, tough for her, because she was not about to lay down, because like we don't have no electricity except for the generator power that my dad is only running his air conditioner off of. You know what I mean? He like what he does is he'll plug in the trailer so that way we can use outlets and stuff like that throughout the day, but at nighttime all he runs is his air conditioner. So here, Mandy's like, I'm not going in there and laying down. Let's go in there and lay down in front of your dad. Let's go in there and lay down in your dad's bedroom. I'm like, I'm not about to go lay down in my dad's room while he's in his underwear, especially with you, my wife. You know what I mean? Like, no, it ain't happening. I'm like, come on, let's go in there and lay down. So we go in here to this room, and it's dark, and I'm having to use a phone to find our way into the room. So we get into this room, and we had that fan that we'd put in the window, so that way we could let it blow, you know what I mean, and throughout the day, and keep us cool, and it helps circulate the air. So Mandy's like, I'm not sleeping by that window, and I'm like, honey, it's not gonna come in here, man. It's gone. Dad shot at it. It's gone. She's like, it's not gone. I said, yeah, it's gone. I said, if you want, I'll sleep by the window. She said, yeah, you sleep by the window. She said, I'm not sleeping on that side. I was like, okay, cool. Damn, he's being put over here by the window. So I lay down by the window, and she lays down. And now, I'm not saying like our heads were right by the window, but our feet, like, you know what I mean? Like when I laid back on my back, the window was like right here. You know what I mean? Like my head was up here against the wall, but the window was right here. So I'm thinking, you know what I mean? The worst it's going to do is grab my leg. So we're laying there, and Mandy, I've comforted her for probably like 10 or 15 minutes, and she finally dozes off. And I start to hear her breathing heavy, so, you know what I mean, I know she's sleeping. So then I'm like, I'm just bumfuzzled by what took place. You know what I mean? Come here, boy. Come here. So, I'm just bumfuzzled. So anyway, I start to doze off. As soon as I close my eyes, I'm talking like as soon as I start to doze off, I hear bam, 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 bam. I'm like, what the fuck? Mandy jumps out of the bed, and it's back, it's back, it's back. And all I know is I'm getting chunks of shit through at my face, and I'm like, what the fuck? Come here. So, Mandy jumps up out of the bed and starts to go for the door, and I jump out of the bed with her like, hell no, I'm not standing there either. So, I'm waiting for this thing to rip the friggin', wall out or something other and just start attacking me and her, or carry one of us off. So, now you picture two scared ass kids trying to find a doorknob in the dark. Like, it was so terrifying. Like, we was literally like this, trying to find the doorknob. We could not find that doorknob for shit. Finally, I hit it, bam, with my hand. I twisted it open. And me and Mandy, we run out the door. Well, when we run out the door, Dad had all these buckets of primer and paint sitting out. So the house is completely dark. So me and Mandy, we're running through there, and we trip over buckets of paint. Hello. Hi. And come here, River. And so we trip over these buckets of paint, and like we're tripping over everything in this house to get back to the where Dad's at. Like, all we know is he's got a gun, and we're, we're being attacked. So, like, me and her, I tore my shins up, man. I tore my shins up. I tripped over everything in that house. Plus, he had a big old stack of trim laying on the ground. We slid all over that shit. So finally, like, we get back to where the kitchen stove's at and stuff like that, the wood-burning stove, and my dad comes back out of the room with a pistol. And he's like, what the hell's going on in there? I said, it's back. It's back. I was like, it's fucking back. I was like, it just fucking busted that fan all the shit back there. I said, it's throwing something at the trailer. So, me and Dad, Mandy is fucking petrified at this time. She won't even fucking, she's pulling my shirt off my fucking, she's trying to choke me. So, Dad's like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? He's like, hold on a minute. He goes in the room, gets a gun, the shotgun, hands me the pistol, and he's like, hey, look, let's go out here and let's fucking look, see what's going on. So we go outside the back part of the trailer, and it's like in a little fenced-in area. We go in that little fenced-in area, and all the grass is grown up in my dad's backyard. It's all growed up. The only thing you can see is a tomato plant and some string and some beans that's on a a piece of lattice and stuff like that. And then there's a little, like I said, a little fenced-in area for the dogs to pee. That's it. You know what I mean? The rest of the stuff is growed up to the point to where it's like 6 feet high, 7 feet high. So we walk around to where my window's at, and there is fucking chunks of aluminum ripped, like it looked like somebody took a rock and threw it, boom, and ripped the aluminum. And the fan blade was completely knocked out of the window, like it was knocked, like the plastic that was holding it was knocked out. And we looked on the ground, and there were rocks on the ground in front of the window where this thing had threw those, and they had landed by the window. So me and Dad, we get back in the house, and Dad's like, in the morning we're going to go out there and we're going to look around and see what's going on. So we go back in the house, and by this time it's like 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, me and Mandy, we all sat at the kitchen table until daybreak. And as soon as the sun come up, me and Dad went outside and we looked around, looked at all the parts. The black minivan that we were in, he had bent the door frame, the sliding door at the back part of the door behind the driver's seat. He had bent that. I literally had to take a pair of freaking pliers and bend it back into place so my sliding door would open. There was chicken feathers all over Dad's property where this thing had got chickens, I guess. I don't know if it was either that or a fox. Now, I can't attest to that because I don't really know what happened. But I know that there was chicken feathers scattered everywhere. And a lot of people were like, did you take pictures? I'm like, hell yeah, I took pictures. Shit, yeah, I took pictures. So on my phone, I snapped pictures of the paw prints, the handprints on the door, everything. And I've got this thing. I'm like, man, I have got evidence of Bigfoot. Yes, sir, Bob. So Mandy's like, I'm not staying here no more. I'm not staying here another night. Hell to the no. She's like, we'll go get a room. And so it took all day of calming her down. You know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah, we didn't call the cops. We didn't do none of that because, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to, there's Bigfoot down here. All they're going to say is, keep your doors locked, and if anything else happens, call us back. You know what I mean? So we didn't do that. But, yeah, that was my encounter, man. That was my encounter. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up down in the comment section. If you like the story, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. If you don't believe me, I don't care. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I appreciate you checking out my channel. I don't want to take up no more of your guys' time. It's already 33 minutes and 40 seconds, so we'll end it with that. You guys take care. God bless. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for sitting this long and listening to my story, if you did. I really appreciate it. Yeah, share this with your friends, man. Share it with people, and let them, let them know that there is things out there in these woods that you cannot explain. You know what I mean? There's things in the woods that mainstream scientists, they don't tell you about. So, there's things that you will never understand, that your little tiny brain will not be able to comprehend, because it's outside the norm. So don't limit yourself, and don't be a cosigner or a yep boy. You know what a yep boy is? A yep boy is somebody that just says yep, 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 yep. You know what I mean? listen, if you have questions or if somebody has something they want to tell you, listen to the story, you know what I mean? And if you call bullshit, call bullshit. If you think it's real, you know what I mean? But don't just automatically say, no, there's no way it could be real. No, 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 because, River, over here now! Because there's things out there, man, that you just don't know, that you just haven't seen, you know? I don't know whether to feel lucky. Well, actually, I do. I feel lucky that I got to see what I got to see, and I got to experience what I got to experience. Now, thank God that it didn't go no farther than what it did, but I think that, if anything, I'm one of the lucky ones to get to say, hey, I seen this. You know what I mean? Like, can't nobody take that away from me. Can't nobody say it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, I know what happened. I was there. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm kind of like in this little club of people that's saying, hey, this thing's real, and I know it. You know what I mean? I know it to be a fact. So I just wish that I wished I could have kept my cool and snapped pictures of this thing while it was beside the RV, but I was too worried about getting jerked out the window, you know what I mean? And, like, I had my seatbelt on, so I thought, you know, if this thing tries to snatch me out of here, it's going to rip me in half because the seatbelt's not going to let me go, you know what I mean? So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it, guys. You all have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep it real. And also, don't close your mind. Keep your mind open. Because there's things that's outside the dark that you might not know it's real until you come across it. Cherokee Kid out.